Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Law Firm Blueprint, a pop-up edition talking all about Google reviews and the Google review Armageddon that is blowing up the legal space. So, Seth, fill me in on what's going on because I looked at my numbers today, and interestingly enough, we've dropped some reviews if you look at the number, but if you actually manually count them, not necessarily the same thing. So, tell me what you're finding.
Okay, so look, there's been a whole, shifting reviews way down. Google had a mea culpa saying, hey, there was an issue. And the review count is off. And that is the official statement from Google. I believe there's much more going on. And I use you as a case study. So
Right.
we saw across 300 law firms. Let's take Jay from Blue Shark. We take a look at Jay and we say, okay, two things are happening. Review count, who cares? Google will figure that out. But are reviews disappearing? And if reviews are disappearing, yes, in theory, they'd come back. I don't see that often, right? They're going to get the count right. And there are many people, Price Benowitz, for example, had the review count drop by 50, but 4 reviews were no longer. And we track that. We use Local Viking and other tools to see when reviews are removed. So Jay, tell me about you. I know you had a huge drop in number. I say, who cares? They'll figure that out. Talk to me a little bit about which of the reviews that disappeared in fact.
So the ones that disappeared, in fact, were when we first looked, we had dropped about 20, and the ones that disappeared in fact that we couldn't find anymore were 14 reviews that we had gotten when I was at a conference, and I asked a bunch of colleagues for them to give me a review. So it was people from not from my home state, not locally. That Google has plenty of signals that they are residents of another state, and they've probably never emailed my firm or called my firm on anything that Google can track or trace. And they all came in probably within like an hour window because we were all talking about it at the time. So in that respect, those left, and I don't think those are coming back. I mean, I'd love it if they did, but they didn't match the pattern in which our firm generates and gets reviews. I mean, we have our review wrangler, we have a position, and her job is to chase and get us reviews, and she gets anywhere between 5 and 10 reviews a week.
Right.
This was a 1 hour period with 14 that came right in.
And this is a case study. Price Benowitz, of the reviews gone, we had merged 2 accounts together, and the duplicates from those disappeared. So what I think this is masking is that Google, which is looking to figure out how to clean stuff up, right? We talked about how it's less than 90% of search Google. They're freaking out. Stock prices is at stake here. That they are doing everything to solidify that local environment. Those reviews are a big piece of why people trust that. And if they can't trust it, big problems for Google.
Right.
So what I see, I don't care what they're saying. Yes, I know there's a glitch, but when I see with my own eyes, the experts are telling us, oh no, it's just a glitch. I think this is the beginning of them attempting to figure out, similar to what we saw with spammy links. You had the spammy links. At some point, people were like, okay, they had manual action penalties. They did other things. We've seen other areas with virtual offices. Sometimes it's sweeping. And yes, did a few reviews maybe get removed that weren't, fit into those categories? Maybe. And you'll either try to get them back or get the people to re-review. But I think what we're seeing is the very beginning of Google addressing review fraud.
And quite frankly, that's good for us.
I hear you.
At the end of the day, I'd rather have myself and all of my competitors having legitimate reviews, because I know I have paid attention to that area. I know we've put somebody in that role to get them for us. I know a lot of people in my market are not doing that.
Right.
And so I'm going to win that game because I'm willing to put in the reps at that game.
Right.
And so
do it right. Make sure you keep track of all your reviews so you know when something disappears. And, look, we all have somebody's done a favor for us, thought they were doing a favor for us. There may be somebody who reviewed multiple of your spots or twice on the same profile. Like it's not a criminal offense. It's just Google's guidelines. And if they're going to thin it out slightly, so be it. So I think in all the excitement with numbers popping up and down, they're going to figure that out. Give it a couple weeks, that will settle down. But I think the bigger headline that is not yet being talked about is that Google is focused on 14 people out of town in a room within an hour leaving reviews. One client, 100 reviews in a 2-week period. None of those people had more than one Google review. That was their only Google review being left. Like dubious stuff is very easy for them to say. Friends in the space who do this for a living, they can show you and themselves, not Google. They can show you these patterns. If a third party, if somebody like us can see it, Google certainly knows what's going on.
Here's the only thing that I have a beef with is that we have a small number, but a hurting number of 1-star reviews of people who are leaving one review and it's a 1-star review. And, you know, it seems like they created that email address to leave a 1-star review. Those are still sticking around for some reason.
Well,
so the one reviewer who gives you 5 stars and with no commentary, that one left. But the one who
gives you 1 star really and
nothing.
Look, it would be devastating to the number count. But imagine if they went the way Yelp did. Not that like we want to emulate Yelp, but with the active users, where only people that were active on Yelp got everything else got filtered. Imagine if everybody with less than 3 or 5 total reviews. Now, there are plenty of fake ones that are out there. There are bots out there that leave 5 reviews. But just because think about it, there are a lot of people that leave a review for our law firms that have never left a review for a restaurant. It's not their game. But if they got great service for something that was monumental in their life, they left it. So to me, that would be really fascinating if they weighted the reviews differently, or there was some way to sort of say, hey, this was from within your geo. I don't know. But, clearly Google is starting to address this.
And they're paying attention to their reviews now. That's
correct. And that's the headline. It's not the up and down. They're smart enough to get the actual count. A lot of the experts, you didn't lose reviews. Yeah, there were like 50 dropped in number, 4 were removed. Those 4, when I look at it, I see why it is, and there's a logical explanation for it. Similar to your 14 of 20, it's not like you probably had a much larger number in the count that went down, but there's clearly so I think 2 things are happening at once. The jury is still out. Hopefully this video ages well, but telling everybody, and please post in the comments, what are you seeing? What is your review drop numerically? And what are you seeing actual reviews removed? And finally, if you're willing to share this, do you see a correlation of the ones removed to something that didn't pass the laugh test?
Yeah. Well, that's great. Okay, folks, so that's going to do it for us on this special pop-up edition of the Law Firm Blueprint. Of course, give us those numbers down below. Let us know in the comments what you are seeing when it comes to your own reviews, and be sure to tune in every Thursday live, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, to the Law Firm Blueprint Show, live on LinkedIn with Seth's profile, as well as live in our Facebook group. You can take this episode and all of our episodes along with you on the go, wherever you get your podcast. Search up the Law Firm Blueprint Podcast, and you can always leave us a message at the Law Firm Blueprint at gmail.com if you want to get in touch with either Seth or myself. Thank you so much for being with us today. Bye for now.